Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. So obviously I can't go into, looking at, the grade 12 mathematical literacy paper one without having a look at the last question that I said that I was going to do with you guys, right? So I did mention that in this question, we are given a situation where, a person is paying for medical aid. They've got pension fund contributions, they've got donations, right? How do we deal with that situation if we have to now calculate, the tax that a person needs to pay? So please make sure that you pay attention during this lesson, because I'm going to be taking you guys through what we need to do to calculate Mr. Parker's monthly taxable income. Right. So in this question, we basically told that Mr. Parker is aged 44 years old and he earns a monthly basic salary of 74,800. Okay. And then we told that he has medical aid that covers himself, right, his wife, and their 3 children. The following deductions are made from his salary. So it's very important that we understand all these deductions that are basically happening in Mr. Parker's salary. We've got pay as you earn, UIF deductions, medical aid, pension fund, and donations. Okay, so all of these deductions are basically, all of these amounts or things are being deducted from, Mr. Parker's salary. Okay, so what is pay as you earn, right? So when they basically saying that, pay as you earn is being deducted from his salary, they're basically saying that his company is paying his income tax for him, right? So his income tax gets deducted from his salary. UIF, right? What is UIF? It's your unemployment insurance fund. Okay, so that also gets deducted from his salary. We've got medical aid that gets deducted from his salary, pension fund contributions of 7.5% of his basic salary gets deducted from his salary, and Mr. Parker donates 5,000 Rand every month to an orphanage, right? And then we're told to basically take note of this condition here. We are told that the UIF deductions for a person earning a taxable income that is 17,712 or more per month is 1% of 17,712, or it is 177 Rand and 12 cents per month. So in this case, right, when we have to now, determine how much does Mr. Parker contribute towards UIF, right, we are just going to use this condition that's given to us, right? It's just 1% of 17,712 because Mr. Parker earns a taxable income that is more than 17,712. So please take note of that. Okay, so what do we need to do in this situation? Remember, right, in the previous video tutorials, we spoke about that if we are given, the monthly income that a person earns, before we have a look at, or before we go to the tax table, right, we basically need to convert that monthly income into a annual income, right? And then from there we are able to calculate, how much tax that person needs to pay. But in this situation, we are not just going to take that 74,800 and then just multiply by 12 and then jump into, going into our tax table. No, we need to first determine what is his monthly taxable income, right? So for us to determine monthly taxable income, or the income that Mr. Parker earns that can be taxed, we need to first deduct certain values. What are those values that we need to deduct? We need to first deduct the pension fund contribution, because pension fund contributions are non-taxable. Okay, so we need to first, minus Mr. Parker's pension fund contributions. What else must we deduct? We also need to deduct the donations that Mr. Parker makes every month, because also donations are non-taxable. So taking Mr. Parker's basic salary of 74,800, we need to minus his pension. We need to minus the donations, okay, how much he contributes to the orphanage to get his monthly taxable income. And once we have the income that we can then use to calculate his tax, then we can then multiply that by 12 to basically get his annual taxable income, right? So let me basically write that. In situations like this, right, okay, where a person is donating to an orphanage, or a person, pays for pension fund contributions, we need to remember that donations and pension fund contributions are non-taxable, right? So before we go into the tax table, we need to basically minus those values. Okay, so in this case, for us to determine Mr. Parker's monthly taxable income, what will we have to do? We first need to then take his basic salary, and then we will minus pension fund, and we will minus donations. Okay, this will help us determine the monthly taxable income. So in this case, what is Mr. Parker's basic salary? Mr. Parker basically earns 74,800 per month, right? So to get Mr. Parker's monthly taxable income, we're going to just take that 74,800, then we're going to minus his pension fund contributions, and then we're going to minus the donations. Okay, so how do we get the pension fund contributions? Okay, right? If you basically look at the information that is given to us here, right, we are basically told that Mr. Parker donates 7.5% of his basic salary to pension. Okay, so it's just going to be 7.5% of what? His basic salary. So what does that mean? It's just going to be equal to 7.5 over 100 multiplied by, what is his basic salary? 74,800, meaning how much is he contributing to pension? It's 7.5 over 100 multiply 74,800. It's equal to 5,610. Okay, so that is how much Mr. Parker contributes monthly towards his pension. So we're going to minus that pension of 5,610. Then we're going to minus the donations that he does monthly of 5,000. So how much do we get? What is Mr. Parker's monthly taxable income? It's 74,800 minus 5,610 minus 5,000. And then you will get that it's actually 64,190. So what does this mean? Okay, the total monthly salary that we can use to determine the tax that Mr. Parker is supposed to pay is this 64,190. Okay, so now if you want to then go to the tax table to calculate the amount of tax that you need to pay, what can we then do? Okay, we will just determine what? His annual taxable income. How do you get the annual taxable income? We'll take that 64,190, we multiply it by 12. Okay, so 64,190 multiplied by 12. So you'll get that his annual taxable income is 770,280. So the salary, or the salary that he earns per annum that can be taxed is 770,280. Okay, and then from there, we'll just follow that procedure that I've been obviously doing with you guys on how we then, minus the rebates, minus the medical credits, to then determine, and also looking at, where his taxable income falls in your tax table to determine how much tax Mr. Parker needs to pay. Okay, so what is very important in this lesson is that understanding that before we can even go into the tax table, given a scenario where a person basically pays pension and donations, we basically need to remember that, pension contributions as well as donation contributions are non-taxable. So before we, determine a person's annual taxable income, we first need to, minus the pension, minus the donation from the monthly taxable monthly income, and then we'll basically have how much of his monthly income can be taxed. Then we multiply that by 12 to determine the annual taxable income. Then we can go to the tax table to determine how much he needs to pay, then minus the rebates, then minus the medical credits. Okay, so that is basically the point that I wanted to make in this video tutorial. So I think we're actually more than ready to then just answer these questions that are given to us here, right? So there I was just giving you guys a brief analysis of what we need to do when tackling such a question, right? So here we are told that, Mr. Parker is age 44 years old. He earns a monthly basic salary of 74,800. We are told that he has a medical aid that covers himself, his wife, and their three children. Obviously, we're told that the following deductions are made from his salary. We are given this tax table here that we are supposed to use to calculate how much tax Mr. Parker needs to pay before rebate. Then, because we are given Mr. Parker's age, that means that we need to also incorporate or deduct the rebates that he qualifies for. And because we're also told that Mr. Parker contributes towards medical aid, we'll also have to then minus, the medical credits that he qualifies for. All right, so let's look at question 1. Write down the amount that is deducted every month for UIF. So in this question, right, we are told that if you earn a taxable income that is equal to 17,712 or more, the UIF that you're supposed to pay will be 1% off that 17,712. Okay, so that means that in this situation, Mr. Parker will basically just pay 177 Rand 0.12 per month for UIF. That's it. Question number 2. Calculate Mr. Parker's annual pension fund deductions. So remember here, we've already done this together in the introduction, but we're going to do it again. So to calculate the monthly pension contributions, what will we need to do? We are just told that, okay, his contributions for pension are 7.5% of his basic salary. So we're going to take 7.5 over 100 of his basic salary. Okay, so from here, we are just going to take 7.5 over 100 multiplied by what is his basic salary, 74,800. So this basically gives us 5,610. Okay, but remember, this is just the monthly pension contributions. They ask for the annual pension fund deductions. So what do we need to do? So we just then, to get the annual pension deductions or contributions, what do we need to do? 5,610 multiplied by 12 will give us 67,320. Okay, so obviously also in some cases, when you're obviously given a scenario like this, where there's a lot of things happening, right, they will actually break up these components for you. Okay, where you have to first calculate this on your own and this and this and this, then you just need to know how you need to put everything together. Okay, so that's basically the annual pension deductions, for Mr. Parker. Now let's have a look at the next question, right? In the next question, they're basically telling us that, right, Mr. Parker's pension fund and donation contributions are allowable tax deductions. Okay, so it's basically saying that, right, we basically first need to remove the pension contributions and remove the donations from his monthly income because they are non-taxable. Okay, right? Okay, so that's basically what is meant by that. So calculate his annual taxable income. You may use this formula. So they've given this formula to us. But what I've actually also realized about mathematical literacy, okay, don't all the time, be too reliant on, them giving you formulas. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. So you need to know what you need to do in a situation where they do not give you the formula. Okay, so with question number 3, they're telling us that, okay, to calculate his monthly income that can be taxed, we need to take his basic salary minus pension fund minus donations, which is what we did there. Okay. And then calculate the annual taxable income. So we're going to start step by step. So this is number 3. So to get the monthly taxable income, it'll be the basic salary of 74,800 minus, remember this is monthly, ne? Okay, minus the monthly pension fund contributions 5,610 minus the donations, which is 5,000. Okay, what do we get? You get 64,190. Okay, but remember, they didn't just want the monthly taxable income, they wanted the annual taxable income. So therefore, the annual taxable income, we are just going to take that 64,100 multiplied by 12, and it's going to give us that 770,280. Okay, so that is the annual income that we are supposed to use to calculate how much tax Mr. Parker is supposed to pay. Right? Cool stuff. Let's have a look at question number 4. Calculate Mr. Parker's annual medical credits. So what are his annual medical credits? Remember, he's paying for medical aid for his wife, for himself, and for his 3 children. So he's the principal member because he's the one that's paying for the medical aid. Plus, his wife is the first dependent. Plus, the 3 children, right? What are we supposed to do? We are just going to take 3 multiplied by 2 for 6. Okay, so therefore, the monthly medical credits is equal to the 364 for himself plus 364 for his wife plus 3 times 246 for his children. Okay, how much do we get? We actually get 1,466. Those are his monthly medical credits. But remember, they want us to, determine the annual medical credits. Therefore, the annual medical credits will be 1,466 multiplied by 12, which is equal to 17,592. So that is how much, those are the medical credits he basically qualifies for. All right. And let's look at the last question. Mr. Parker claims that if he had no medical aid, he would be paying 1,466 more on a monthly basis to SARS. Okay. Verify showing all calculations if his claim is valid. So now, right, Mr. Parker is basically making a statement here, right? He's basically saying that if he had no medical aid, he was actually going to pay 1,466 more on a monthly basis to SARS, right? So we need to now verify this statement. How can we go about verifying this statement, right? The first thing that we need to do is we first want to calculate how much does he pay towards his tax with medical aid. Then we want to calculate how much he pays towards his tax without medical aid. Then we want to look at what is the difference. Okay, that is where our thinking is supposed to be, right? We want to first calculate how much will his tax be with medical aid, how much will it be without medical aid. Then we want to find the difference so that we can then verify whether his statement is correct. So you need to now listen carefully and, follow what I'm doing here. So we're going to start off with how much he pays with medical aid, okay? So this is with medical aid. This is without medical aid, right? So let's start. Okay. So we already know that Mr. Parker's annual taxable income, we got it to be equal to 770,280. Then we found that the medical credits that he qualifies to get is equal to 17,592. Then we can also just determine what are the rebates that he qualifies for. So since Mr. Parker is 44 years old, we know that he only qualifies for the primary rebate of 17,235. So I'm just writing everything that I need here so that I don't have to go back and forth. Ne? Okay, so the primary so he qualifies for the primary rebate of 17,235. This is with medical aid. So now that we know what his annual taxable income is, we can go to the tax table. We want to determine in which bracket does he fall in. Is it the first? Is it the second? Is it the third? Is it the fourth? Is it the fifth? Is it the sixth? Is it the seventh? So 770,280 is in which tax bracket? We can see it's in the fifth tax bracket. So that means that we're going to use this formula here to help us calculate how much Mr. Parker needs to pay towards his tax, right? So then to calculate Mr. Parker's tax payable, this is before rebates, we all should know now, it's going to be that 179,147 plus 39% of what? The taxable income above 673,000. So remember, we've spoken about how we get this amount then, if you've been listening in the video tutorials. So we are just going to take that 179,147 plus 39% is 39 divided by 100 of is multiplied by what's the taxable income? It's his annual income of 770,280 minus 673,000. Okay, cool stuff. Show all the bits and pieces. I've been saying this. So it's going to be 179,147 plus 39 over 100 multiplied by what's this amount there? 770,280 minus 673,123. It's going to be 97,280. Then we're going to first deal with the multiplication. So it's 179,147 plus it's 39 divided by 100, multiply 97,280. You basically are going to get 37,939,20. Therefore 179,147 plus 37,939,20. It's basically going to be 217,086,20. So that's how much Mr. Parker needs to pay before rebates. So this is how much tax he has to pay before rebates. Okay, but now we know that. Okay, then to get the total tax payable, what do we need to do? We are going to take this tax payable amount of 217,086,20. We're going to minus the rebates that he qualifies for. We said that he qualifies for the primary rebate of 17,235 and minus the medical credits, okay? Because in this situation, it's with medical aid. So we're going to minus the medical credits of 17,592. Okay, so then how much tax must Mr. Parker pay? 217,086.20 minus 17,235 minus 17,592. You'll actually see that he's supposed to pay 182,259,20. So that is how much Mr. Parker pays towards his tax per year with medical aid. So therefore the monthly amount, so the monthly tax payable, it's just going to be this amount of 182,259,20 divided by 12. How much do you get? 15,188, I'm just going to say 27. Okay, that is how much he pays towards his tax if monthly. Obviously if he has what? Medical aid. Now let's look at the other scenario. Okay, they said now, if he does not have medical aid, how much does, Mr. Parker pay towards his tax, right? So here, the tax payable before the rebate is still the same. Okay, so we just know that the tax payable before rebate, it's still the same. It's still that amount of, just gonna do it here, 217,086,20. It's still the same. Now, for us in this case to get the total tax payable, what will we do? It'll just be the tax payable before rebate minus rebate, but we're not going to minus the medical credits. Why? Because they said without medical aid. So he does not, qualify to get any medical credits because he does not have medical aid. Okay, so what does this mean? It's just going to be the tax payable of 217 and 86,20 minus what is the rebate that it qualifies for? Still the same, of 17,235. How much do we get? 217,086,20 minus 17,235. We are going to get 19,000. Oh, 199,000, yes. 851,20. So that's the amount of tax that he pays annually, okay, if he does not have medical aid. How much does he pay monthly? Monthly, we are just going to take that 199,851,20 divided by 12, not multiply, divided by 12, because we want the monthly amount that he would pay. So it's 199,851,20 divided by 12. It's going to give us 16,654,27. Now, okay, we found that, okay, if he basically, has medical aid, this is how much he pays per month, 15,000. If he doesn't have medical aid, this is how much he pays per month, 16,000, right? So what's the difference between these two amounts, right? So the difference between these two values is just going to be at 16,654,27 minus, 15,188,27. How much do you get? It's going to be 16,654,27 minus 15,188,27, which is equal to 1,466. What does this tell us? It basically means that if he doesn't have medical aid, he would actually be paying 1,466 rand. So is this amount more than the amount that he gave in his statement? It's not more. It's equal to. Okay. So if he had no medical aid, he would be paying 1,466, not more than. Okay. That's what we need to basically see there. He would be paying 1,466, not more than. Okay, right. So that's that. So we can basically state that his statement is invalid. He will pay 1,466 if he does not have medical aid. It's not more than. He pays that amount. It's not more than that amount. Okay, so that's the thing there. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video tutorial here. The take is that when you've got pension fund contributions, donations, we first need to determine how much of his salary can we actually tax, okay? So we can't tax the pension and the donations. We first need to deduct those amounts. Then, once we have that monthly taxable income or that monthly income we can tax, then we multiply it by 12 to then get his annual taxable income that we can use to calculate the tax that he's supposed to pay. Simple as that. And then everything else is just the same as what we've been doing in the previous lesson. So I hope you enjoyed these income tax videos. Please comment down below. How were they? And I think that now we are more than ready to, have a look at, the grade 12 November 2023 paper 1. Okay, so please make sure that you're sharing these videos as much as you can with your friends. I think I have mentioned this, that the aim is to get the channel to 50,000 subscribers. So please share as much as you can with all your friends. That really goes a long way in helping the channel grow. Okay, so I'll see you guys on my next upload, where we are basically going through the paper 1 that was written in November 2023.
That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.